Hi guys, I was planning to start differently, but I have to say this because I was just checking my accounts and I realized that my Wells Fargo Active Cash had a charge that I didn't recognize. I haven't used this card for a very long time. And it was only like $19, but obviously somebody found this number somewhere and it got compromised. That's a good reminder of always checking your bank accounts and your credit cards accounts, because you never know. This is not the first time that this happens to me. I had the same issue with my Citi cards in the past. So be careful out there. That's one thing. The video today is one video that I think I had to do years ago at this point, because I've seen many of these videos, but I never made one myself. And this is things to know before you go to Greece, because it's a very different place in many ways. I saw videos before from Americans that have visited Greece, but now you're going to have a perspective of a Greek that's been in the US and now is an American citizen too, proudly. So yeah, let's get down to it. The number one thing that I want you to remember is, and that is true regardless any European country you go almost, is always have some cash with you. There's places where you can't pay with credit card, even though by law they should have a credit card machine. Still, it's not enforced everywhere, although it's a lot better than it used to be. But have some cash with you just in case. Get your American Express with you, but always make sure that you have either a Mastercard or a Visa, because there's many places that don't accept American Express. These high fees that give you all these beautiful credits within the US are really a pain abroad, because they charge them an arm and a leg for their services. So they don't accept American Express. I used to work at my dad's coffee shop, and I had this older American gentleman once, and you had to see his face. He was like, but it's an American Express. It's an American Express. What do you mean you can't take it? I'm like, we just don't accept it. So keep that in mind. Have always a Visa or a MasterCard with you. Whenever they accept American Express, you feel free to do so. So also, there's ATMs everywhere, credit cards. Keep in mind that if you have a Schwab account, you can always use the debit card anywhere in the world without any fees. So for that alone, you should all have a Schwab account, if you ask me. That's the banking. And then the cultural shock that you might have when you go to Greece is that people smoke, and they smoke a lot, and they smoke almost everywhere. And depending the time of the day and the setup, they might smoke more. So what do I mean by that? If you are sitting outside in the plazas, in the piazza, in platia, as we say in Greek, expect that people will be smoking around you, and that smoke, depending on the air current, will come to your face, and there's nothing you can do about it except for politely ask them to either move a little bit or stop smoking. But by law, they're able to do it. So unfortunately, then you can go in bars and clubs and expect to be smoked. I remember when I was clubbing, I was coming back home and I would take showers immediately, and I could feel the smoke coming through my face. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. People smoke. That's it. When you ask for gyro, let's go to food now. When you ask for gyro, it's gyro. It's not gyro. It's gyro, and in Greece is pork. Here in the US, it's either a mixture of beef and lamb or just lamb. I believe, this is a personal theory, that they do it because all that meat on a stick around the fire concept is very popular in the Middle East. And most of these people here that know this concept are Muslims, and Muslims don't eat pork. But when you go to Greece, gyro is pork and chicken. So pork separate, and chicken. And the original gyro is pork. And it's delicious. It's much better than what you know here. Forget what you know here. It's delicious. The other thing is when you have Greek salad, don't expect to have any lettuce in the salad. We don't put lettuce in the salad. It's just tomato, cucumber, peppers, feta cheese, olives, olive oil. That's pretty much it. And oregano, salt, pepper. My daughter loves it. I love it. But there's no lettuce in the Greek salad. Now, the one thing that you should always try when you go to Greece is seafood, especially if you see a restaurant that has Greeks, that is a little out of the way, but it's full of Greek people. You should go there. You know it's good food. It just tastes incredibly well. Forget all the sauces like shrimp with cocktail sauce or calamari with cocktail sauce on the side. We don't do any of that. Calamari in Greece is fried calamari with some salt, lemon, and that's it. That's it. You feel the calamari flavor in your mouth. You feel the shrimp. It's just incredible. You should always do it. Try to eat locally. Don't go to any food chains. Like, if you go to Greece, you shouldn't be going to McDonald's. There are McDonald's there. You shouldn't go to Starbucks. There's so many amazing local cafes that make real coffee, first-class coffee. Especially if you are into anything espresso, cappuccino, that's a Greek specialty nowadays. It's going to be summer, so you better try the local Greek original iced version of these drinks. There's cold cappuccino called Freddo Cappuccino, or the espresso version, Freddo Espresso. Amazing. You ask in advance how much sugar you want in it, because once you put the ice in, the sugar doesn't dilute in the coffee. So you need to know how much sugar you need, 1, 2, 3 teaspoons, and they will prepare it for you and serve it ready. Incredible, very strong, real coffee. Incredible. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is cars. If you go to Greece, yes, you can drive. Yes, the drive on the same side as in the US, on the right-hand side, left on the wheel. But it will be safer for you if you have driven in a Latin American country, so you have some training. Or you live in the DMV, the DC metro area, where drivers are crazy, and then you might survive. But the stop signs, for the most part, are suggestive. Like, people, if they don't see anyone coming, they will just assume that they can go, even if there's a stop sign. The yield doesn't exist. Red light, if it's red, it's fine. But if it's like deep orange, just turning to red, expect them to pass, to go through. So you need to be careful. And if you make a mistake, and we had this in Greece before, many tourists make the mistake to try to make a U-turn on highways or even smaller streets. There's so many scooters, ATVs with tourists that have never driven, just like you, in Greece, and you will never see them coming, and you might be in trouble, killing someone or getting killed. So be careful with that, as long as you drive safe. But again, not too slow, because we have this other side. Many tourists go and they feel so intimidated that they drive really slow and everybody gets upset and the cars line up behind them. Don't be that guy. Drive at the speed limit, 20 kilometers more, like 10, 20 miles even more is fine, is considered fine. You're not going to get a ticket, but be careful. Be careful. Don't be too slow. Don't be too fast, and have a good sense of your surroundings. You'll be fine. Most islands, Most islands are extremely safe. I know you guys are gonna try to go to all the islands, are extremely safe. Just be mindful. There's many people that have come to Greece lately from other countries. And yeah, depending on the island, you might need to be a little more careful. But in general, it's going to be full of people. You're going to love it. You're going to have amazing time. So don't think about it too much, but always keep an eye open. That's it. If you go to a club, depending your age, if you're too young and you're going clubbing, don't go to a touristy bar because you don't know what kind of drink you might get. We had in the past issues with people drinking basically just pure alcohol with some flavor. They get drunk immediately, then they don't know what they're doing. So be careful with that. Just go wherever looks nice, wherever you see locals, and you're gonna have amazing time. There's bad actors everywhere. The last thing I want to talk about is when you go to Greece, don't go on the same islands. I hear people going to Greece and it's always Athens, Mykonos, Santorini, period. Sometimes I hear my own island, Crete, but there is so much more in islands and mainland. There's islands like Rhodes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful old medieval castles and beaches, amazing. There's on the other side, on the Ionian Sea, most people, all these islands that you guys know are on the Aegean Sea, so on the eastern side of Greece. But on the west side, to the borders with Italy, we have a whole different complex of islands, the Ionian Sea, and those islands are beautiful, dramatic cliffs, blue waters. The Navajo, the famous sunk boat on the beach, is there. Don't miss the opportunity to go to those islands like Corfu, and then the mainland itself. I mean, what can I say about the mainland? When you're in Greece, if you see a Greek map, you will understand that you're not more than an hour and a half from a beach, regardless where you are. You're not more than an hour and a half from the beach. So it doesn't matter where you are. You can always visit the beach. But keep in mind that the mainland has a lot of history. There's a lot of underrated places that are cheap because of that. So you might be able to get a much cheaper vacation, a much more elevated vacation, because you're going to get more of the local experience, the local food, some architecture that you haven't seen. Did you know, for example, that there's a whole villages in Greece just above Athens, like less than an hour from Athens, that are built in the mountains, and all the houses are built with stones from the surrounding area, and even the roofs are made of stone. It's just incredible. So be mindful, enjoy, be open-minded, learn a couple of Greek words. You can say kalimera, good morning, kalispera, good afternoon, good night, kalinichta, thank you, ευχαριστώ, and then you say a couple of words in Greek, and then Greeks are opening up. You will see we have that resting Greek face, as I like to call it. We always walk on the streets like this. And now, because most people have beards, even longer than this is nothing, but they like to have beards nowadays. You might see them and everybody looks pissed, right? They walk like this. The moment you say, Kalimera, may I ask you a question? You will see a big change on their face. They're going to ask you where you're from. Depending how open you are, you might become best friends. And that's a legit friendship, by the way. I have friends that I met through my dad's cafe in the years, from France, from Denmark, from Russia, from Australia. I still talk to these people to this day. We're friends on Facebook and we talk every now and then. And they used to come for many years. We exchanged gifts through the years. So keep in mind that Greeks are very open, very friendly. The moment you try to be friendly with them, they're going to open up very easily. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Until the next one. Ciao.